Well, I mean, to steel man the argument, as it were, the opposite of straw manning something. To steel man it, it is that everyone is capable of bigotry, and that bigotry it exists in all societies. It exists in our societies, and therefore, to be a good person and to pursue a good life would be to say, be an anti-racist and be an anti-sexist and anti-homophobe and a few more things, and that makes you good in the eyes of your peers and contemporaries. That's the basis for it. I think that there's a misunderstanding at the origin of that, which is that it is true that bigotry exists in all societies, and it can exist in all people. It doesn't, of course, exist simply in some people and not in others. It's not like there are the children of light and the children of darkness. And like one of the extraordinary things is this sort of Manichaean interpretation of our species. And of course, if you say to people, which one would you like to be, on the side of the goodies or the side of the baddies? A lot of people say, I'd love to be on the side of the good guys. And it's not much more complex than that for a lot of sort of warriors on this. I think, however, that what's happened is we've been in a version of something similar to what was known as Moynihan's Law. You may remember the late American Democrat Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. He, among other things, a former American ambassador in the 1970s. He had something known as Moynihan's Law, where he pointed out that claims of human rights violations occur in exactly inverse proportion to human rights violations. That is, the countries where you hear about the most are the countries where they happen the least. Because the countries in which they happen the most, you don't hear about them. We don't get to hear what level of transphobia exists in North Korea. There's a good reason for that. We don't get to hear, what studies there have been of whether or not racism in China is up or down this year. How many hate crimes have there been in China this year? We don't know the figures. A simple person with no particularly malevolent intent may well, as a consequence, grow up thinking that it's countries like Canada and Britain that are the really bigoted countries, and it's the rest of the world which lives in this sort of Edenic, non-human rights violating, rights respecting paradise. Now, I do think this is something similar that's been going on. Our societies spend all of our time talking about bigotry and prejudice and much more. And I haven't spent that much time in Canada, but I've been there a few times, and I don't see Gestalt-like figures, parading the streets, waiting to beat up minorities of any kind. I've always found your average Canadian pretty easy to get along with, and I think there's something really perverse in this. There just has to be pointed out that a fair estimation of our societies has not occurred in recent years, and that my shortcut, shoot down to that is to simply point out to people, in the 1930s and 40s, Jews weren't trying to break into Nazi Germany. There weren't, but and others from around the world desperate to make it to Munich. There's a reason why our countries are attractive. There's a reason why the world wants to come here. And it's definitely the opposite of because we're bigoted, racist.
We will make America great again.